Poem The Arrow and the Song. Poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Now let's read the poem to find out the reason why the speaker shares the incident of once shooting an arrow into the air and breathing a song into the air. I shot an arrow into the air. I fell to earth, I knew not where, for so swiftly it flew, the sight could not follow it in its flight. I breathed a song into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For who has a sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of song? Long, long afterward in an oak, I found the arrow still unbroke, and this song from beginning to the end I found again in the heart of a friend. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where, for so swiftly it flew the sight could not follow it in its flight. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where, for so swiftly it flew the sight could not follow it in its flight. In these four lines, the poet is talking about the arrow which he shot from his arrow and which swiftly flew in the air. He is not sure where it fell on the ground, as it was fast and swift, and he could not follow its flight. Here, the arrow is symbolic to something which could cause destruction and would leave damage behind. I breathed a song into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of song? Second stanza. I breathed a song into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of song? The poet is now speaking about a song that he sang in the open woods, and he did not know to which direction it had reached, as there is no one who is very strong and keen to follow how and this song travels and where it reaches. Here, the song is symbolic to something warm and friendly. Long, long afterward in an oak, I found the arrow still unbroke, and the song from beginning to end I found again in the heart of a friend. Long, long afterward in an oak, I found the arrow still unbroke, and the song from beginning to end I found again in the heart of a friend. In these lines, the poet wants to say that as he walked in search of the arrow and the song, he found the arrow in the distance, still undestroyed, lying on the ground. And so was the song, undisturbed from the beginning to the end in the heart of a friend. This poem talks about the fact that words are unbroken. We lash out at someone or say unkind words, but we may not always see the consequences. However, a time comes when we regret saying those words because they eventually come back to us. The poem says that the arrow was not broken and was lying on the ground undisturbed. Similarly, our words remain undisturbed and unbroken and will remain in the world forever once you let them out. When the poet sang a song, it also disappeared, and when the poet went in search of it, it was also lying undisturbed but in the heart of a friend. So, it is important to think before you speak, as your words can touch people's hearts and can have a great impact on the lives of others. Thus, the poem represents the impact of hatred in the form of an arrow and the permanence of joy in the form of a song. There is another meaning to this poem, where the poet is talking about our actions and words and how they leave an impact behind on people. The arrow here is symbolic to our harsh behavior and words, and the song is symbolic to our friendly and caring actions. Here, the poet wants to say that, like he shot the arrow in the air, he said something harsh and cruel to someone and did not realize how and where it affected someone. He tried to see how the hatred tried to fly out of his sight, but he couldn't trace or find it. He could not even find if there is any kind of lasting damage that his words had done. In the second stanza, the song is symbolic is to something which is carefree and quite benign. This could be formless and free and very small, exactly opposite to the arrow. But in both the cases, the destination of the song and the arrow is unknown. The poet remembers about his actions long afterwards this. As the time passes by, he finds that the cruel words that he had spoken to someone had left an impact and was still present, fresh and undisturbed. But the song that he had sung, or the friendly and the kind things that he had done, were found embraced in the heart of a dear friend, even after a long time had passed away. The poet wants to say that our actions could make or break something in a person, and they are never forgotten. Words and actions, let it be sweet or bitter, They always remain in with the person, and one can find them undestroyed again. Hence, a person should always be careful of what he speaks and does, as it could leave a lifelong impact on the person, and he might not even realize the potential harm or good that he has done. The poem, The Arrow and the Song, is written by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. He was an American poet, translator, and educator. His poems are known for their musicality and for imparting values. Longfellow is especially remembered for his two long poems, namely The Song of Hiawatha and Evangeline, A Tale of Acadie, and also for the poem Paul Revere's Ride. He was the first American to translate Dante Alighieri's long narrative poem Divine Comedy for Italian into English. Thank you.